Publish independently, you got to sell it like a lot more than the bigger companies do, and that's kind of a hard sell.
I like it. We have a past. It's almost like a past and present together here. It's like I'm like this past. That's what I'm doing now. So we're kind of in the same boat. Yeah. So keep talking. How'd you get to where you're at?
Well, I mean, unfortunately, our book bombed. We didn't do well with it because we couldn't get distribution. Like, we tried to get some company to pick us up to do distribution in local shops in Canada for us, and it was like 15 grand. You know, you're a bunch of guys out of high school just getting a book published. It's hard to kind of get distribution. So then we figured the internet might be a good way for us, but then it just kind of fell apart and everybody did it their own way. But at least you get your stuff recognized, you know? Like if you do have something published out there that you can put on the web and the internet. I'm a digitally stupid person even to this day. Like using a computer is tedious for me. It drives me nuts, but it is a useful tool for doing that kind of stuff. And I'm sure you recognize that too.
I use it a lot actually. I'm a graphic designer by trade, so I absolutely use it for. I do all my own coloring and stuff as well.
Yeah, but even marketing, you know, like there's forums out there for independent comic publishers. And how many people here read web strips or follow web strips online? Yeah, so you guys know, you know, like there's a lot of content out there.
Even like DeviantArt
comics.
Does anybody use DeviantArt or have an account on it or have been on it?
Yeah.
So even that is something that is quickly becoming one that a lot of comic people are putting their stuff.
Do you find DeviantArt useful though? Like people here that use it?
Yeah, for sure.
You get a lot of exposure with that?
I've got about 1,000 page views,
Really?
few years over the time. Not much.
Internet, technology.
I'm terrible that way.
That's right.
It takes me like 30 seconds for email. Oh, it's bad.
So how'd you get into the industry?
Well, it was getting stuff independently published, and then I'm a big Evil Dead fan, as you can tell. I do a lot of stuff on Harbour Darkness. So I had a lot of fan art online for it, and I had a buddy of mine who passed it on to a guy who got the license to produce the Evil Dead comic books through Dynamic Forces. And they actually contacted me, and they had a representative from MGM Studios on the phone. And they said, yeah, we're doing a comic book based off the Army of Darkness stuff. Would you be interested? And I thought it was some buddies messing with me. What are the chances? Yeah, what are the chances that you're an Army of Darkness fan, and then they're going to call you out of the blue to illustrate an Army of Darkness comic book? So I kind of played it out on the phone until I realized it was real when they faxed me the contract. And the contracts, when I faxed it, was like this long. I'm standing by the fax machine, and it's just like feeding through and feeding through.
It's a good thing you weren't a total dick to the people.
Well, I was like this close.
You're not the only person I've heard say that.
Yeah.
Somebody calls you up. Yeah, tell me another one.
Oh, it's well, like I mean, what are the chances? You know, is what I'm saying. Like the way I figured
It just seems unbelievable. Yeah.
Well, you live in Moncton, New Brunswick. You know, it's a small community. How's an opportunity like that going to find you? And then I started realizing what the power of the web is. You know, like what you can do online. And even meeting pros and stuff online is a lot easier. Like some of them, they all troll the same pages and forums that you guys do.
They're trolling.
Yeah.
The people that matter are out there watching you.
It's true. How many people remember Mike Baringo? Does anybody here?
Massive fan.
Yeah. No, I was a huge fan of this guy's stuff. And he actually approached me via email once, and right out of the blue. And he was one of the first ones that kind of nurtured me into breaking into the field a bit more. And totally challenged me on my artwork by telling me it was crap and drawing all the things I was doing wrong, which he was completely right on. And unfortunately, Mike passed away a few years before I could actually meet him face to face. But you know, it was invaluable having somebody like that online who took an interest. And I mean, there are some of the same forums out there. I don't know if like conceptart.org or drawingboard.org. Does anybody check these out?
Concept art, yeah.
Concept art?
Yeah.
CG Talk, all those ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah, industry people are checking these out all the time. I'll be at cons and they'll be bringing up images that they're seeing on this from fans out of the industry. So honestly, breaking
Well, I find they do that on DeviantArt too. Like I've heard DeviantArt say, "Oh, I got contacted," and "Oh my gosh." And
Oh yeah,
it's
there's a
like-
lot of people at Marvel now that they've discovered through DeviantArt. And that's why they're hiring all these people down south for peanuts. Shouldn't say that, but anyway, all these people.
Write it down.
Yeah.
No, that's fantastic. But that's it's way far from the days where you had to like go to a convention with your portfolio and wait in line for hours to meet a creator and just hope that they might like enough of your stuff to hire you.
Yeah. Well, I was 17 the first time I went to a convention. It was one out in Vancouver. And there was a creator who I was there working for a small publishing house. And I'm not going to say who because he was kind of a dick to me.
Oh, come on.
No, I really can't.
Okay.
Because he went up and he was looking through my portfolio and he was totally smashing everything that was in there. And I felt so dejected when I got home. And it was just, like, he was right on some of the stuff, but I found it was harder when he was sitting there with a bunch of his buddies, and they were all kind of mocking me. Like, and I had realized, you know, like, even though I had a long way to go, I understood then that I needed to have a bit of an education with life drawing and stuff that was essential to me. You know, like, I didn't want to be that kind of a creator. You know, like, they would sit there and mock somebody who's just starting out to get their stuff up. And you see that a lot in the industry. Some people don't even want to come and do panels like this to chat with people. And I mean, that's kind of ridiculous because you guys are buying my books, you know? And I mean, like, that's important. Even at an independent stage, you know, like, he's got to kiss ass even 10 times harder.
So bring your artwork to Andre.
That's right. Oh, I'm gonna love it all and hear what it looks like.
But it was the same thing, like, when I was starting to independently publish, like, you start to realize how much the community supports you, you know, like.
I draw a pretty mean stick figure, Andre.
Oh. Bring it by.
I will.
My stick figures are kind of oval.
Oval figures.
Give it a little bit of 3D.
So one thing, someone mentioned me the other day, and I was kind of saying how, like someone said, like, you know, I kind of like draw when I suck it. It's like, well, art styles are different from everybody. Like, there's a lot of comics out there. You can look at go to any comic store, look at the rack, and you'll see how different they all are. Like Nick, I love Nick's artwork, but there's some people that are like completely different. Like, there's a writer, Jeff Lemire. Does anybody know who he is? Okay, maybe not.
Tooth Fairy? Nobody picked up.
Sweet Tooth?
Sweet Tooth?
Yeah, Sweet Tooth.
I've
He does
seen
Animal Man.
Yeah.
He writes Animal Man for DC right now, and he just had a new book that came out this week.
This independent one?
Yeah, the Undersea Welder.
Yeah.
Or Undersea Driller. Yeah, which is really good. Or Welder. And anyway, I just read it the other day. Yeah, I'll get to
Just
it.
pick one.
But his art style is really, really different. Like, if you ever in a comic store, pick up Sweet Tooth, take a look through it. It doesn't seem conventional by any stretch, but it's for what he writes, it works really well.
And there's a little taste for everybody in the
Yeah.
industry too. Like, everybody knows Rob Liefeld, right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
Unfortunately.
How many fans?
Who loves Rob Liefeld, hands up.
But I gotta say, you go to a convention, like every time I go to a show that he's signing at, he has the biggest lineup out of people than like Alex Ross or Jeff Scott Campbell because he's personable enough. And there are some people who like his art.
Probably for, really?
No, honestly, there are some people who really enjoy his style, and it invokes something.
It's a 90s. It reminds me of being a kid, being a 90s.
Yeah. And there's a big audience for that still. So, you know, you can't bash on that guy because there are people out there who like his stuff.
He would be working with people who like it.
Yeah.